What's up guys, Specstar here today with my week 10 battle for MLBA, and I'm going up here against Lucy in the rematch. Last time we had a very close battle, so I was looking forward to our rematch here. Although this time my team is quite different. I have just made that big transaction where I dropped Veramosa and some other mons, and I grabbed my Reshiram. I also grabbed Slowking and Golbat, which did come to this battle, and Dewpider, which didn't. So Lucy here has got a team with Claydol, Naganadel, a Lowland Persian. Naganadel's always a threat, by the way, that thing's a monster. Volcanion, Miltank, and Mega Scizor. And I've got a team here with a physically defensive Mega Venusaur, and I invested in my Venusaur to speed creep him, speed creeping my Mega Venusaur, speed creeping Azumarill. So basically I put my Venusaur speed to 226, trying to catch him creeping me to see if I could get more speed on it. And the rest went into HP and physical defense. I have Toxic, Synthesis, Sludge Bomb, and Hidden Power Fire on it. Next up I have the King, my Reshiram, my newly acquired Reshiram, with Blue Flare, Earth Power, Will-O-Wisp, and Toxic. And interestingly enough, my Reshiram has quite a bit of speed on it. I believe I had 285 speed on it, and then I put 248 HP on it, and the rest went into special attack. My thought process there was just that HP invested Reshiram, he has a very hard time breaking, and with Roost he can, and especially Wisp, he can have a real hard time getting past it. That was my thought process, and without much investment it still had enough power to do the job it needed to do. Next up I have a Scarf Darkrai with enough speed for Naganadel, just to make sure I can revenge kill that thing after a speed beast boost. Next up I've got a Rocky Helmet Metagross with Stealth Rock, Hidden Power Fire for that Scizor, Meteor Mash, and Power Up Punch, which can help me deal with the Miltank. Next up I've got a specially defensive Slowking with Scald, Psychic, Toxic, and Slack Off. That's to help me deal with Naganadel largely. And lastly, I have a Golbat, which is invested to outspeed a limited speed invested Miltank with Taunt, Roost, Toxic, and Defog, and that's just to make sure I can try to keep hazards off my side of the field. It comes in on his rockers and can get rid of the rocks and prevent them from being reset up, and that was kind of my thought process there. Anyway guys, brace yourself because this is a pretty long battle. I'm going to try to get through it semi-quick. I think I'll go at my normal pace at the start and then kind of speed it up later. But I'm going to lead off here with my Golbat, I believe, as he leads off with his Claydol, and I'm immediately going to taunt it to try to prevent it from getting up rocks. He goes Scizor, I'm completely fine with that. I'm just ready to Super Fang that thing. He's taunted, so he's going to be leaving at very low health, and he's going to have a hard time bringing this in on later. He's going to U-turn out, which didn't surprise me. He's going to bring out his Persian here, and I'm just going to go for a Super Fang. I wanted to get damage off on this. He's going to knock me off. Golbat still has a good amount of use, so that's not the end of the world for me. He's going to go for Parting Shot here, as I believe I clicked Roost. Actually, I went for a Taunt, right. This battle's so long, I forgot what I did at the start. I switch out to my Metagross, which has the Rocky Helmet. Since he was taunted, he couldn't Roost up, so getting that thing really weakened. He goes on a Claydol, and I just clicked Meteor Mash, predicting this thing to come out. I wanted to get damage off on it. And here I'm actually predicting him to get rocks up, and I just went for Meteor Mash again. And he is Calm Mind, and I'm guessing pretty speedy. So I'm going to switch out here into my Darkrai. Darkrai I know can take a hit, an Earth Power, and I didn't need health on my Darkrai too much, so since I didn't have a great switch in on the thing, I thought Darkrai was a good option. I'm going to click Dark Pulse and take the thing out, which is great to see the thing go down because that was a threat for a second there. He's going to go into Miltank. My Golbat's designed to take this thing on. He's going to get up rocks, and I'm just going to get right rid of them. I do not want to see those rocks around here. So he goes out into his Scizor, and I'm just going to make the safe play in a Metagross. He's going to opt to go for a U-turn, and that thing continues getting nice and chipped down. And he's going to bring out his Persian Alola, which is a little bit annoying for me to deal with actually in this game. I'm going to bring in my Venusaur, which is my best answer to it right now. He's going to foul play, not do much at all, because Venusaur is thick. And I'm going to Mega Evolve as he parting shots out. I believe here I just click my Sludge Bomb as he goes out into Naganadel. I get a little bit of chip on this, which puts in range of my Ice Beam on Darkrai, which is nice for me. I'm going to go right out in my Slowking as he scares me and goes for the Nasty Plot here. So, oops. He's going to go for the Plot here, and my thought process, I know he's going to throw off a Dragonium, and it can... Naganadel's so busted that at +2 a Nasty Plot boosted. That's just what I said, sorry. But at +2, he can kill me, my Slowking, especially defensive, with a Dragonium. While I fumble the English language here, knowing that he can kill me with that, and he doesn't want to take a Psychic, and he can't go for a Draco, I'm just going to pick my Sack, which, since it lost its Eviolite, is Golbat, my least useful Pokemon here. And I'm going to bring out my Darkrai to revenge kill this thing. Last time I brought out my Darkrai on this thing when it had a speed boost and bluffed a Scarf. So this time I'm not going to make any predictions. I'm just going to go right for the Ice Beam in case he wanted to make a prediction. He's going to go into Persian here, and it's in range of another Ice Beam, so I'm just going to click it. But he actually makes a good play going out into Volcanion, now assured that I'm Scarf. So confident in that, so he gets some pressure on me here. And I'm going to go into my Slowking, which is just a pretty good answer for Volcanion. And he could have been Sub, or he could have been Toxic. I didn't think he would have been both, and both is the one way that he could really punish me for making this play. He gets off a Toxic on me, I get off a Toxic on him, and that's not too bad for me. Slowking can still kind of perform with a Toxic on it in this game for what it needs to do, since it's not really going to have to stay in for too many turns in a row. So that's not really the end of the world for me, especially as I have Regenerator. And here I'm going to go into my Metagross on the Miltank since I've seen it set and it cannot touch me. He gets up his rocks, and I'm going to get up my rocks since Golbat's gone and I'm not able to defog. Rocks are about equally as bad for both of us, I'd say at this point. Maybe a little bit worse for me than they are for him. I'm going to go into my Venusaur on the Persian. He still hasn't shown Taunt yet, so I'm going to click Synthesis. And he does show the Taunt now, and I'm going to throw off an unsuccessful Synthesis. So not the best turn for me. Here I'm just going to click Sludge Bomb because he can't really do too much to me. He's going to go on a Miltank, and my thought process here is that that's not too bad for me, actually. Miltank's not going to kill me, so I'm going to be able to throw off Sludge Bombs until the Taunt wears off and then synthesize back up. So that's very okay with me. I'm just going to keep Sludge Bombing. Unfortunate for him, I'm going to get 2 Sludge Bomb poisons in a row, which helped me milk his Heal Bell PP. And part of the reason why this game went so long is that one of the win conditions I did play for, I don't know if you'd call it a win con, but one of the scenarios I was playing for in this game was him running out of his PP on that move. And here I went for a Sludge Bomb as he goes out into his Scizor, and I'm just going to go for Hidden Power Fire. This is a little bit interesting because here, my Venusaur, his Scizor was speedy, but my Venusaur actually had more speed. He was trying to creep my Venusaur with this, but my Venusaur creeped his creep successfully, and I'm able to take down the Scizor without losing any health on Venusaur, which is real nice. Now here it gets a little bit slower, so I'm gonna go from slow to normal on this and try to speed it up a bit. He's gonna bring out the Miltank on Venusaur, and I would just want to drain this thing's Heal Bell PP. I'll probably just skip through the Miltank Venusaur exchange. He's trying to pair on me with Body Slams. Unfortunately for him, he's not too successful. I'm not very scared of getting paralyzed with my Venusaur because it's still taking hits well enough that that's not really the end of the world for it, being paralyzed. Here he's going to switch out to Persian, and as I go out into Metagross, so that play really worked out for him. I don't think he was predicting that, but it really worked for him. I'm going to bring Venusaur back in, and he's going to Parting Shot, and I'm just going to click Sludge Bomb. He's actually going to go into Naganadel here instead of Miltank, so don't need to get back to the skipping game. And I'm just going to bring out my Slowking. That's just kind of my plan for dealing with this thing. He'll throw off a Sludge Wave, get me weak and down. I'm going to go ahead and click a Slack Off. And I believe here I went for the Toxic on the Miltank. No, I went to Metagross here. I'm not remembering the game well enough, I guess. He's going to Milk Drink up, and then he'll Body Slam my Metagross. On this Pokemon, he will be able to para it. And I'm going to get a boost from my Power Up Punch, just trying to put some pressure on. Here I'm going to go for Meteor Mash, but unsuccessfully. Volcanion probably would have took it relatively well anyway, so can't get too upset about that. He's going to go for a Flamethrower as I go into Slowking, and he'll Flamethrower me again as I believe I went for Toxic, yep. And I'll get a Poison off on the Volcanion, which makes this thing easier to deal with, until of course Miltank's forced to Heal Bell, which I'm very happy to try to force. Now the Toxic damage is starting to rack up too much, so I'm going to switch out into my Metagross, as my little dog's getting all growly over here because he hears someone. And the Miltank's going to Milk Drink up. I'm going to Meteor Mash him. We're still at the slow part of the game right now. It will pick up a little bit, believe it or not. I'm not lying to you. After all these turns without a KO, it will pick up. And he's going to go for a Flamethrower as I go into my Slowking here, which is even well poisoned, but a very reliable check to the Volcanion. And here I'm actually going to go into Reshiram, trying to predict him to go Miltank and try to put some pressure on, because I was kind of getting tired of how slow the game was. But he's going to stay in and Steamer up me. He's going to do not much damage at all because the King is HP invested. And I'm going to be able to take the Volcanion down with Earth Power for the first KO in 28 turns. But we will keep up the pace here. He's going to bring out Naganadel, and I'm going to go out into my Slowking. He's going to fire off a Draco and do pretty significant damage, but I'm just going to be able to slack it all off as he goes out into Persian here. And I can take a hit from this Pokemon, and its health is really annoying me, so I'm going to go for a Scald to try to take this thing down. Fortunately for me, I'm able to burn it, which makes it easier to deal with. I'm going to switch my Slowking out and go into Metagross. He'll taunt me, and that's inconsequential to Metagross, fortunately. He'll go for a knockoff, and Metagross is able to eat that. I'll lose my Rocky Helmet, but at this point it doesn't really matter. He brings out Naganadel, and he's going to go for Flamethrower and take me out here. Then I'm going to bring out my Darkrai and click Dark Pulse. I did actually consider clicking Focus Blast to be aggressive on Miltank, but at this point I realized I just had to make the safe play now, and then maybe I could think about being aggressive later with this thing. And the Dark Pulse does take out the Naganadel, so now it's just down to the Miltank, and it's going to be a little bit more Venusaur on Miltank action. I'm going to drain his Heal Bell PP, which he didn't have much more of, and then eventually he's just going to click Stealth Rock again and again because he sees that it's just taking more turns, and that's going to be the end of this battle. So fortunately, we are able to take the series 2-0 against the league's reigning champion, and we're going to move on to 8-2, which will temporarily put us at number 1 in the league for the first time. Evan does have the potential to pass us if he wins his game by a few differential. I believe he has to win 2-0 or 3-0 to pass us. One of the two, I'm not sure which. But if he doesn't, we'll remain number 1 for a little bit, which is nice for us. And that's going to be it for this battle. Especially thank you guys if you were able to sit through 77 turns. Thank you guys for watching. Have yourselves a good night.